too big. Something my wife has never said to me. Welcome back to the Skilled Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 146 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through the projects that I'm working on. Sometimes they're done, sometimes they're not. This is one of those episodes where something is done. And here it is right here. I'm just gonna lift it up because it doesn't fit on the bench. Ugh. It's the Unimog. This is from Casadio RC through umagine.com, and this is a 3D printed Unimog. It's about 1/7.4 scale. I added the Mercedes logo because that doesn't come with this. And it's a 4x4. You can also print a 6x6, which makes it longer and a little more complicated. I wanted the 4x4 though, and I'm glad that that's what I went with because this thing is freaking huge and a little bit heavy now. I tried to zoom out here on this lens, but there, that's better, I guess. Yeah, that'll do. And you can see me. There I am. This has been a wildly fun project, and to be honest, it went pretty quickly. And I'm gonna say that it went quickly because I was able to have two printers running simultaneously. Both of my H2Ds from Bamboo Lab were working all the time, printing every single piece that you see on this truck. Aside from the fasteners, aside from the motor, aside from the servo, aside from the battery, radio, shocks, and springs, and LED lights, everything, and receiver, everything is 3D printed. Everything. It's a wild project, and I'm honestly really surprised that it's done because it's a big undertaking. There are a lot of things to print. Man, I don't even want to count the hours, but it's definitely more than 10 hours of printing. Probably closer to 100 hours of printing. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe more. Probably more. It's been a long road, and I'm wildly impressed. The designer, Casadio, he did a fantastic job on the design of this. I wouldn't even know where to begin, if I'm honest. There are so many elements to this, from the interior to the way that everything is assembled to even just the small details like the headlight buckets. These are all things that you have to think about when you're designing, and honestly, the amount of design time in just an axle, let alone the entire truck, I have to imagine he spent absolute months and months and months putting this together and testing it to make sure it was even going to work. Now, there are some elements here that I think weren't on here the last time I shared this build. Obviously, the whole flatbed, which, flip the truck around and up. All this flatbed panel, this is all new. Printed in PETG for the ultimate in strength and heat resistance. Let me share some elements of the underside with you. Ooh. This is so awkward. Everything underneath the chassis, axles, was a combination of PETG CF, ABS GF, and PAHT for the internals. So all of the gears and everything were all printed in PAHT, which is a much more rigid nylon style. The wheels are PETG, the tires are TPU. I printed the tires at home. They're not part of anything that you would buy. These are the ones that Casadio designed for this truck. And I'm pretty impressed. They're a lot less grippy than a regular rubber tire would be. I think that's to be expected. But I think once we get it out on some actual terrain, I think it'll do just fine. Another thing to mention about the drivetrain, it has quieted down considerably. When it's running, it's actually quite quiet. We'll throw a battery in here and just drive it around the bench. Week. but that's what you're getting this week. It is unlocked differentials, so it's pretty, I would say, not rock crawler-ish. but I didn't build it with that intention. I built it to build it and to have some fun and do something a little bit different here on What's on the Bench and share a really fun project with you. Because what's great about this is that aside from the motor and all of the other electronics and a few other elements, springs, shocks, you can make this. You can make this at home and not spend a ton of money. I figure there's probably 6 rolls of filament, 7 rolls of filament, maybe more. I think there were only 3 rolls of matte blue, maybe even 2 actually. 2 rolls of matte blue, 3 rolls of PETG, 2 rolls of ABS GF, and 1 roll of PHT. And I didn't even go through a whole roll of PHT. Plus some translucent, like I use translucent red for the taillights, translucent orange for the marker lights, translucent white for the headlights. So all in all, not a ton of investment. The investment really was in screws. I bought 5 sets of M2 screws to put this whole thing together, and that's all he uses. We're gonna have to see how it holds up over time, of course. The beautiful thing about this, and I think this is what I wanted to sort of talk about for this episode, is that I feel like this is sort of the future of our hobby. And not just, I don't just mean 3D printing, I mean 3D printing everything and building something at home that you cannot buy anywhere else. I think that's where this hobby is going. If you look at the project IJ, for example, by RC Must DIY, also available on Umagine. Where did I put mine? It's on the ground over here. Put it away wet. A little gross. I used this most recently to showcase those new Falcon tires from Vanquish. But look at something like that. You take a really amazing chassis, like the VS410 from Vanquish, and then someone builds an entirely new body set for it. You can't buy that in a store, but you can buy it online, print it out at home, and customize it to your heart's content. Even with limited 3D design skills, it's really more in how you print it, or finish it for that matter. That, I think, and this sort of thing as well, that's the future. Because for a vendor, for example, there's a very low barrier to entry. Sure, you have to know how to design and 3D print and test and make sure everything's going to work. But once you've done it once, that's passive income. You can continue to create updates and make it better for the next person, or create a whole bunch of different variants like Project IJ. That's the future. I really honestly feel that way. I think there's still, obviously, there's going to be a place for competitive style chassis and aluminum parts and all of those things. I mean, yes, home CNC machines are a thing too, but there's a lot of complexities that you couldn't really do at home. So I still think there's going to be a place for manufacturers. They're still going to create the platform on which you would build. But I think this is the sort of thing that's really going to take off. And I'm really excited about that future. And I hope you are too, because I think it's coming at us pretty hard and fast. So hold on to your butts. Anyway, let's get a battery in here, and I'll kind of run it a little bit and give you an idea of how it all looks. Stand by. Great thing about this chassis is that there are 2 giant fuel cells on either side, and this is just a cover for it. But you can load up some really big batteries if you want and go on a pretty long adventure. That's what I hope to do soon. Hopefully the snow doesn't get too more intense. We're already getting snow. Okay, and then to start it up, you just open the hood, and there's a power button in there for the 2-in-1. Here we go. That big Reefs servo is doing its job, but moving the camera around. Servo is almost louder than the motor, the transmission. So this thing works. It's fantastic. I can't wait to take it out. In fact, I'm going to take it out at the Christmas crawl that we're having at one of our local shops. John's Hobbies is putting on a little Christmas crawl on Saturday. So I'm going to take this, load it up with a Christmas tree on the back. I think it'll be a nice conversation piece. And we'll see how it holds up too. Hopefully it does. I'm very, very pleased with this though. It was a super fun build. If you're interested, links down below. Next on the bench, this beauty. Here is my Vanquish Origin. And man, I could not be happier with how this turned out. It's such a beautiful truck. Buggy, I guess. The guys at Vanquish absolutely knocked this out of the park. Jim specifically, because what he did here is just, it's wild. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure, you know, obviously smarter men than me came up with this, but the machining of these panels and how it all turns out and comes together is just wild. It's so awesome. I'm very honored to have one of these in the collection, along with my Ripper. It's like, these are the two Halo vehicles that Vanquish has produced, and to have both of them is wild to me. I am very shocked by that fact. I love the color that I came up with, the military tan, which is now part of Trucks of Fortune. So you can get military tan axles. I think they've also got some wheel sets as well. You will absolutely love this color in person. It looks so good. Now, it's not completely finished. I've got a couple of things that I would like to do personally. I think one of them is maybe replace the interior. I haven't decided yet completely. I think a Vanquish interior is okay. I think the Night Customs interior is probably a better choice because obviously then I can have me driving it. So I'll probably end up doing that. I wouldn't mind putting iBox on this as well. These are the older SAD shocks, so there's bound to be a potential for leakage. The new ones don't leak, and so that would be nice to kind of keep these axles nice and clean. I should probably drive it at some point too. QFRCY, or Quentin Farsi, he's got a nice insert for in here that I thought was quite a nice printed piece. I kind of want to, it's funny, I don't want to add a lot of printed elements to this because I think that's sort of slightly, and no disrespect to anybody that's done that, but it takes, for me anyway, it takes away some of the machining quality that's gone into this truck. So, Buggy. So, I'm not sure I'm going to do a ton of it, but I am going to do some. Like I said during the live stream, and if you haven't watched that live stream or even the build video, there is an entire separate build video. You can watch that right up there. In that video, I go through the electronics that I put in here. Reef's Raw 800 LP, nice low profile, high torque servo. We've got the Holmes 2-in-1 2300 kV brushless setup, and that's it. I haven't even wired up the lights yet, but I will, I promise. For wheels, these are Battleborn Sierras in that polished desert tan. So wild. I can't believe I've got those either. It's pretty sick. Red IFR rings and then a black inner. And that's it for now. But it's an awesome buggy. If you've got an opportunity, even just to see one in person, I think it's worth it to see if you can see one, because they are pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy to have one. All right. I think that's going to do it, though. Not a whole lot this week, but it seems like a lot got accomplished. Hopefully you're enjoying this series. If you are, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell so you'll get updates anytime there's a new video. Not convinced that actually does anything anymore, but you should do it anyway. And also, please thank all of the fellow ding-dongs, the gold level ding-dongs, for being a part of this great community where they get to see all sorts of content, behind the scenes, tips and tricks, how-tos, travel logs, all kinds of stuff that everyone else doesn't get to see. And they get a lot of these videos early too, so that's a nice bonus as well. Link down below if you're interested in that. Let's move on to that final thing. By now, a lot of you have been getting your Axial SCX30s and already doing all kinds of mods to them, which is super exciting because I had a little bit of a head start and now I feel like I'm behind everybody else. But here's my little guy. Not much has changed since the last time I shared this with you because I've been so busy printing that giant Unimog. But it's really cool to see how much people are liking this little truck. because it's really good. I said so in my review, and I think some people got the impression that because I got it free and early, that I was somehow mincing words or not being completely truthful with you all. But I think the proof is in the pudding, and everyone's getting them now, and they are finding them to be pretty awesome. And I'm really glad to see that, because it is awesome. If you are looking for something small that you can play around with inside, on your desk, even outdoors, it doesn't really matter, or you need to get your kids involved in your hobby a little bit more, this is a great choice. Get one of these. Well, not this one. Get the Jeep or the Bronco. Just get one. Whatever you get. Does this still even fit on here? Yeah, sure, sort of. How do I... There we go. Yeah, get one of those. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'll have an update on this soon, as soon as it's cold out. It has to be run inside. That's going to do it, though. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.